Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
It is quite unpleasant to sit in a completely transparent car when anyone can look into the cabin without any obstacles. It is one thing when it is just a curious person, and quite another if we are talking about a potential threat of theft. Also, the absence of tinting on the windows contributes to a strong warming of the car from the inside. In hot weather, tinting not only creates an attractive visual effect, but also protects against solar radiation. And while earlier the trend was for ordinary blackout films, now more and more often motorists are interested in special athermal coatings. Some people get them from the factory from the car manufacturer, while others have to make their own improvements. Drivers are rightly interested in what the difference between athermal films and glass from the usual, whether their use is legal, and how to independently apply such a coating on their own vehicle, what it is and how it works. Toning of car windows has long ago entered the list of the most popular procedures for tuning vehicles. But a comparative innovation is rightly considered to be athermal films on windshields, which are designed to increase the level of comfort in the cabin. Many car manufacturers already from the factory provide for the installation of special athermal glass, which eliminates the need to carry out additional improvements by their own forces. Such solutions in the form of glass and films have their pros and cons, which are worth knowing about in advance. If you were not lucky enough to own a car with factory special athermal glass, it does not mean that you cannot get the same effect now. And it is not necessary to change the windshield completely. A good solution will be to carry out a thermal tinting of the windshield. As soon as the first samples of athermal glass appeared, experts immediately noted their obvious advantages over conventional products. Such coatings up to 99% block the penetration of ultraviolet solar radiation inside the car. After all, they contribute to the active burnout of plastic and upholstery on the seats of the car. Also provides blocking of infrared range of radiation by about 50%. This allows you to keep a more favorable microclimate in the car. Such efficiency does not prevent to ensure the passage of light at a level of 85% in comparison with a similar transparent car glass. These are the main points that distinguish modern athermal glass from conventional glass. Realizing how it is superior to the design of conventional glass, many people rightly want to get a similar effect in their own vehicle. It is not always easy to visually distinguish between simple tinting and glass with a thermal coating, but they are very different in effectiveness from conventional tinting coatings. In simple words, a car with modern protective tinting is favorably distinguished by the fact that during a long parking under the open sky on a hot day, the cabin will not turn into a bath with flaming plastic and burning seats. A thermal or thermal film has a heterogeneous composition and includes several layers. It consists of a protective coating, an adhesion layer with UV absorption effect, a transparent or tinted layer with the same effect, a metallized layer with an infrared reflector, transparent polyester layer, a protective coating preventing scratches. The coating is arranged to protect not only itself from ultraviolet light, but also to help protect the interior of the cabin by allowing the sun's rays to pass through and reducing their harmful effects. Metallized inclusions in one of the layers reflect most of the thermal energy contained in the infrared range. Depending on which metal oxides are used, the appearance of the tint itself is formed. It usually has a greenish or blue-violet tint. Varieties of thermal films. There are several main types of thermal tinting films for car windows. This allows the driver to choose from a wide range of products. And the differences are not only in the color palette. Specialists distinguish such coatings with an athermal effect, metallized. Their production uses a layer of polymer metals. Such films reflect light better, have high energy-saving properties, but can interfere with the operation of cell phones. Metal spraying can be performed as an external or internal layer, but the final quality is not affected. Painted. Such products are created by combining a large number of layers of polyester. Some layers remain transparent, protecting the upholstery from burnout. Other layers are usually painted in red, yellow, purple, green, and blue colors. These are the most inexpensive thermal films, but their thermal efficiency is quite low. Spattered are distinguished by increased resistance to wear. It is used not a layer of film, but a special ion sputtering. This makes the price significantly higher. They also use a metallized coating. Chameleon, the most expensive thermal tinting with the best visual effect. In total, the film has about 20 layers, including the application of metallic particles. Chameleons are fully compliant, as they transmit more than 83% of light, do not have a mirror effect of light reflection, and perfectly protect the interior. What to choose from this range? Each motorist decides for himself. It is not superfluous to consult with specialists if you find it difficult to make the final choice yourself. Advantages and disadvantages. Modern thermal films, like a thermal windshield or side glass, has its own characteristic advantages and disadvantages. All this motorist can feel it personally in the process of operation. Read also the subtleties of electronic tinting for car windows before deciding to carry out tuning. It is worth looking at the strengths and weaknesses of such a refinement of the car. The undeniable advantages of thermal tinting include such points. An improved thermal comfort is created inside the car, even when the car has been standing under the summer sun for a long time. The coating on the glass protects from burnout and deformation of plastic elements, which usually occurs under the influence of high temperatures. In the warm season, you have to turn on the air conditioner less often, which has a positive effect on fuel consumption. The film or glass protects the fabric upholstery from fading. The natural aging and wear of leather seats is significantly slowed down. The film additionally protects the driver in the event of damage to the windshield, as the shards do not fly around the cabin, but are mainly retained by the coating. If you do not violate the technology of production, as well as adhere to the rules of operation, with the disadvantages of thermal films you are unlikely to encounter, but still highlight a few disadvantages, which are worth paying attention to. Products from leading manufacturers are quite expensive. Some films have a blue tint, which contributes to faster eye fatigue when driving. Devices such as radar detectors work incorrectly. Due to the use of a metallized layer, traffic police inspectors time and again pay attention to a car with a thermal glass or a characteristic tint. With prolonged use, the light transmission capacity of the glass itself decreases, which can lead to violations of current tinting regulations. If your windshield has been in use for more than 1 year and is covered with multiple scratches, streaks, and chips, you should not glue thermal film on it. There are two options here. The first is to buy ordinary and inexpensive glass, which is subsequently applied to the film. And the second involves the purchase of ready-made thermal glass. The choice is yours. Whether such tinting is allowed. Motorists are rightly interested in whether a thermal protective tinting is allowed in our country or not. They are afraid of encountering traffic police officers, who time and again will demand money and issue fines for allegedly violating the established norms on toning. The main attention to the car is attracted in the case if the thermal film is applied directly to the entire windshield. But even here, it is far from a fact that the driver has violated the law and he will definitely be fined. The drop in the light transmission capacity of the glass is the main reason for questions about whether it is allowed to apply a thermal coating on the windshield or not. Here it is worth referring to the current GOSTs and technical regulations of the Customs Union. These documents clearly state that there is a general lower limit for light transmission. Moreover, the rules apply only to the windshield, as well as to the front side windows, and the value is 70%. It is quite difficult to say whether a thermal film will be allowed on your windshield specifically without a preliminary inspection, but some clarity is needed. New car windows let in about 90% of the light. The highest quality and most effective thermal films allow up to 85% of light to pass through. Doing a simple math calculation, it turns out that the transmittance on a new car or on a new windshield on which the film will be applied will be about 76.5%. So you still have another 6.5% margin to the lower limit. But when the glass is worn out, its capacity drops to about 80%. Combined with the film, you're out of compliance. If you are not sure whether a thermal tinting will be allowed on your car, planning to carry out tuning of side front windows or windshields, it is recommended to measure the light transmission capacity beforehand. Features of the light transmission test. The results of the check depend on the correctness of the procedure and compliance with all the prescribed rules. If everything goes well, the car will be allowed to operate, and the traffic police will not have any claims to the vehicle. Transmittance is tested in accordance with the requirements of GOSD and the technical regulations of the Customs Union. One of the key factors is the device used to assess the glass. The device must have a certificate and indications that it has been previously sealed. In the documents for the device, there must be a mark confirming the fact of passing the mandatory annual inspection. In metrological bodies, the permissible error does not exceed 2%. In order for the result to be accurate and correct, it is required to comply with several basic conditions. The test can be carried out, and its results cannot be doubted if the glass is dry and clean, the ambient temperature is between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius. The current humidity is between 40 and 80%. The pressure is between 86 and 106 kilopascals. The test is carried out at a fixed post or checkpoint. 3 samples are tested at 3 points on each glass. The result is obtained by determining the arithmetic mean. Some motorists emphasize that it is impossible to assess tinting in the dark, as it does not allow to obtain the correct result. There are no such requirements, as the testing device is equipped with its own light source. Even if the traffic police inspector conducts the inspection at night, observing all the above prescribed points, he does not violate the law. The inspector himself must have the appropriate authorization to carry out such procedures. Having violated at least one of the rules, the motorist has the right not to agree with the result and challenge it in court. Read also, the best canisters for gasoline. The features of choice if you do not want to cause additional problems, be sure to tidy up the windows, stick a quality film on them, and take measurements. Being sure that the light transmission exceeds 70%, you will save your time and nerves when dealing with traffic police officers. What auto stores offer? When deciding to modify your vehicle with the help of Athermal films, be sure to decide which products you will use. It is definitely not worth spending time, effort, and money on cheap coatings, as they may not meet the stated characteristics, and the first inspection will lead to a fine and a requirement to get rid of the film. If you buy Athermal films, it should be from manufacturers such as Ultravision, Lummer, Nexfill, or Suntech. These are recognized world leaders in the creation of automotive thermal films. All of the presented brands, except for the South Korean company Nexfill, come from the USA. They have very high quality and excellent light transmission. The only disadvantage can be called a solid price tag. Korean products are also of good quality, plus a little cheaper. The nuance is that the true light transmission capacity may not coincide with the one stated on the product. Most often Athermal films are sold in bulk, i.e., whole rolls, selling them to tuning studios and car services offering such services. But if you want, you can find retail outlets. On average, for 1 linear meter ask, at least 2,000 rubles. To make you understand, one such meter is enough to glue 2 side windows of a standard passenger car. If you do not have the desire or ability to apply a thermal film to the windows of your vehicle yourself, you can turn to specialists. If you use quality products from trusted manufacturers, the cost of tinting will be approximately as follows. For tinting the windshield on a passenger car, you need to pay at least 5,000 rubles. The windshield on an SUV or minivan costs at least 3,000 rubles. If you want to glue only the side front windows, in the case of a passenger car it is from 1,500 rubles, and on minivans and SUVs from 2,000. Treatment of all windows with a thermal film will cost 8,000 to 12,000 rubles minimum for cars and SUVs with minivans, respectively. How cheap or expensive it is, everyone decides for himself, taking into account the level of income and the amount of available funds. For the finalization of the car, you can always apply a thermal film with your own hands, because the technology does not differ from the gluing of conventional tinting film. Nuances of self-gluing. After choosing the right type of a thermal film for your car and buying the right amount of material, you can start applying it yourself. In reality, there is nothing complicated about tinting side and windshields with a thermal film, but some nuances will have to be taken into account. To glue the film, you do not need special knowledge, but the skills of working with tinting will not hurt, because often beginners make common mistakes, leave air bubbles under the film. and it turns out not as effective and efficient as expected. The technology of gluing is as follows. Before applying the film, the windows should necessarily be cleaned, washed with detergents, and degreased. The roll is laid out on the surface and cut, leaving a small allowance. The protective coating necessary for storage and protection of the main layers is removed from the film. The material is applied to the glass, heated with a hairdryer. Then it is required to gradually smooth, press, and remove excess air from under the film. In many ways, the technology of applying a thermal film is similar to covering the car with anti-gravel materials or vinyl decorative products. If you are careful and consistent, you will succeed. As noted by motorists themselves, a huge role in the quality of the final result is played by the preliminary preparation of the glass itself. It must be washed and degreased without fail. Any remaining contaminants can provoke further bubbling, loose fit, and deformation of the thermal film. As a result, it will have to be removed, buy new material, and do it all over again. And this is an unnecessary waste of time, effort, and money. If there is a need to remove such a film because of its wear, damage, or in connection with the requirements of traffic police officers, because of non-compliance with the norms, then there is nothing difficult. You will need water and a rubber spatula. The main thing is to carefully pick up the edge of the film, pre-wetting it. Then gradually begin to pull the film down, trying not to tear. It is important not to rush, to do everything consistently and gradually. Whether or not to use a thermal film is a personal matter. Just don't forget about the current rules and regulations. Yes, not everyone is afraid of a fine of 500 rubles if the light transmission capacity will be violated. But here the question is not only in fines, but also in reducing the visibility of the situation on the road due to excessive darkening of car windows. Think about your own safety and the safety of those around you. Observing some rules, you can get an effective and efficient coating even on the windshield, claims to which from the traffic police officers will not arise. In conclusion, a thermal film serves a crucial purpose in enhancing comfort and safety while driving by reducing heat and glare from the sun. Its application is generally permitted, but it's essential to check local regulations to ensure compliance. If you decide to apply the film yourself, remember to follow the proper techniques for a smooth and effective installation. With the right materials and a bit of patience, you can achieve professional-looking results that will improve your driving experience. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found this information helpful.